Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
What makes a great pair of glasses? At Warby Parker, it's all the invisible extras without the extra cost. Their designer quality frames start at $95, including prescription lenses, plus scratch-resistant, smudge-resistant, and anti-reflective coatings, and UV protection, and free adjustments for life. To find your next pair of glasses, sunglasses, or contact lenses, or to find the Warby Parker store nearest you, head over to warbyparker.com. That's warbyparker.com.
Hi, Wendy MacNaughton.
Hi, Courtney Martin.
Okay, how should we start this thing? You want to kick it off with some blind contour drawing? Your signature move?
I don't get a formal intro. I was waiting to get a formal intro.
Welcome to How To. I'm Courtney Martin. Guys, this episode feels like the equivalent of when you're sitting in school, it's a beautiful day out, and your teacher allows you to have class outside. Oh my gosh, what a treat. And it feels that way because I'm joined by a very special guest. Her name is Wendy MacNaughton. She's an award-winning artist, best-selling author, and she's currently helping 100,000 people discover the joy of drawing on her Substack, DrawTogether. Oh, and she's an incredible friend. In fact, friend might be putting it sort of lightly. We're besties. We met a decade ago, and ever since, she's been teaching me about art, forcing me to talk on the phone, and making me laugh so hard I pee a little. Wendy specializes in a bunch of things, but one of them is drawing people on the corner of the street, on the subway, in hidden mahjong parlors, basically anywhere. The portraits are like oral history made visual, sometimes whimsical, and these drawings really capture the soul of the person she's sketching. And a few years ago, she started getting strangers to draw each other.
This is something that I do pretty much anytime I do any kind of speaking or workshop or anything at all. I start off with this, and it's also something that I happen to randomly go out into the world and ask strangers to do together. I ask people to draw each other. Ideally, it's people who don't know each other, but it's drawing each other for 60 seconds with 2 rules. The first rule is that we are never, ever, ever going to lift our pen up off the paper. We're going to make one continuous line. You're on like one side of the face and you want to draw the other side of the face. You don't like pick it up and go. You just draw right across, because this is not about doing a good drawing. It's going to end up looking silly. Rule number 2 is you're never, ever, ever going to look down at the paper upon which you are drawing. Yes, that is correct. It means that we are going to look only at each other and not look down for 60 seconds. And yes, the drawing will be ridiculous. This is not about doing a good drawing. It's about just paying attention. We're going to draw what we see. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes? Oh, okay.
So what you're hearing here is Wendy and I talking over Zoom, and we are about to draw over Zoom using this exercise that Wendy has encouraged countless pairs of people, most of them strangers, to do. And despite the distance of Zoom and the fact that I've done this with my friend Wendy before, it's still a little intimidating. It's so funny because I know that when strangers have to stare at each other for 60 seconds, which is like part of the exercise we will unpack, but they are like, what? I'm just going to stare at this person for 60 seconds? So it's funny that even when you say it, one of my best friends, I still have the feeling of like, ugh.
You still get a little terrified.
Okay, I'm going to stare at you for 60 seconds. It's just weird. We like don't stare at each other for 60 seconds usually.
Usually they're distracted by the fact that they have to draw. I think people are so freaked out that they don't really think about that right off the bat. It's like, oh my God, I have to draw a person. I can't do that. And then I remind them, which I will remind you right now, the drawing will be ridiculous because you're not looking down. It's going to be bad. So this is just about paying attention.
Right.
So we're just going to pay attention to each other and draw what we see. We're also going to go real slow. Okay. Are you ready? You want to do it?
And do I start anywhere in particular?
I prefer to start on the inside corner of one of the eyes. But
Okay.
you can do any place you want. Okay. So Courtney, we're looking at each other. Choose where you're going to start on my face. I know where I'm going to start on your face. Put the tip of your pen down or pencil or whatever you're drawing with on your paper and take a deep breath. In, out. 3, 2, 1. Start drawing. You might find that you immediately want to start going fast.
Yep.
Resist that urge.
Okay.
Just go slow. Our brains are going to tell us to draw what we think we see, but actually the whole thing here is just drawing what we see. Imagine your pen is connected to your eyes and you're moving your eyes around the person's face, around all the lines and the shapes, the contours. And as your eyes move around and kind of trace the person's face, your pen is going right along with it. So just try and see if you can notice like a detail of something when you first sat down. Maybe you didn't notice something like a line or a wrinkle.
I always forget how big human foreheads are.
That's just mine, but thanks for
No,
pointing it
it's
out.
not.
All right, we only have a few more seconds, so just go slow.
Okay.
And slow down, pay attention, and just draw what you see. Finish up what you're doing.
Oh, I think I forgot your nose.
2, 1, stop and look down at your gorgeous drawing.
Whoa.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
This is like the worst one I've ever done.
No. Whoa, wow, judgment. Interesting. Oh my gosh, that's not. It's amazing. It's all over the place.
It's crazy.
You, on the other hand.
Oh, I love it. I look like an old man whose face is melting.
Yeah, you look like an old man named like Bert, I think. But how was that for you?
It feels so good. I think I crave slowing down, but I'm really bad at it because I'm just like multitasking all day long and just like I'm moving. To be forced to slow down and just look at something is so soothing to me.
Yeah, I think in part it's easier to slow down and to do something when you know it's only going to be a minute.
That's true.
And also, if you're focusing so much and you're doing something with your hand, it kind of helps you really be present.
What was the origin of this project? What made you think to have people draw each other in this way?
So this kind of drawing without looking down at the paper, only looking at your subject, is called blind contour drawing. And it is the first thing that you do in art school. It's like the kind of intro to drawing. And the reason it's taught, and has been for forever and ever, is that it starts to rewire your brain into looking again.
Instead of drawing representationally, like being like, a face looks like this, I have been told.
Yeah. When we're little, we're taught to draw like a smiley face to represent a person, or a square with a triangle on top to represent a house. And when that gets into our brains really early in life, we just can kind of continue on with that. And we keep drawing that way. We have these symbols that we use. And to switch over into drawing what we actually see, it takes kind of a retraining. And so by not looking down and only looking at your subject, you start actually seeing what's really in front of you instead of what you think is in front of you. You start to let go of all that schema. It's how I kind of retaught myself to draw later in life, was by drawing people on the subway. And I noticed how much I noticed about people when I was drawing them. And I kind of fell in love with them. Like when you really slow down and look closely at somebody, their entire story is there. Right. One of the reasons it's so wonderful is because it's an artifact of looking at somebody for 60 seconds. And that's what I point out to people, is that they didn't just do this awesome drawing. They actually looked at somebody for 60 seconds without looking away. And that is something that we just do not do. And even less frequently do we let somebody look at us for 60 seconds. And that creates a real state of vulnerability. And that vulnerability is kind of the foundation for connection.
Besides connections, the other thing these drawing sessions create is joy. I've seen Wendy do this a bunch of times, and people just explode with laughter. They bond, they have a genuinely good time, even though they're initially totally freaked out about being asked to draw. It's like a shortcut to presence, lightness, and connection. When we come back, Wendy MacNaughton is going to teach us how to overcome our perfectionist mindset and actually put pen to paper. Don't go anywhere. This podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states. Today's episode is sponsored by NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast. Making financial decisions shouldn't feel like trying to pick a place to eat with friends. Too many choices, and everyone has an opinion on what's worth it. One person says, invest in crypto. Another says, go all in on real estate. Meanwhile, you're just trying to figure out if your credit card's annual fee will ever pay off. That's where the nerds come in. NerdWallet's finance journalists do the research so you don't have to, breaking down the fine print, cutting through misinformation, and giving you real, fact-based insights so you can make smart financial moves without the group chat chaos. NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast can help you get smarter about using home equity without over-leveraging yourself, and when refinancing actually saves you money and when it doesn't. Want to know if dividend stocks or growth stocks make more sense for you? Listen to the nerds. They also help decipher the real difference between ETFs and mutual funds without the jargon. Make your next financial move with confidence. Follow NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast on your favorite podcast app. And stay tuned until the end of the episode to hear the Smart Money trailer.
If you've listened to the How To podcast for a while, then you know how important acceptance is when it comes to personal growth. And do you know who else is big on acceptance? Discover. You see, Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. That's a whole lot of places and a whole lot of acceptance, which is great for Discover, but even better for you. Based on the 2024 Nielsen report, learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
So, Wendy, how did you become yourself? How did you become someone who is both an artist and so interested in the ways in which drawing can help people see each other, like actually see each other?
I went to art school. I've always been a drawer. I love drawing. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to live in a loft and wear all black and smoke cigarettes and like have a dramatic art-filled life in Soho. And then I went to art school and promptly stopped drawing.
Perfect.
That's what art school does to you. No, it's true. In addition to being an artist, I'm also a perfectionist. So I went to art school and all of a sudden all these people around me were like, quote unquote, better than I was. And I freaked out. I stopped drawing. And I started making terrible performance art videos and,
our producer will try to dig up one of those.
No, she will not, actually. Under threat of death.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to make things that made kind of people think and connected people in some way. I worked in advertising and I went to school for social work, because I realized that in art school, it taught us how to come up with ideas and then tell other people what to think. Mm-hmm. And because of the work that I was doing, I had to learn how to ask questions and trust what people told me and then do what they asked me to do and just use my skills to do it. It's a total rewire.
So Wendy studies art, then she studies social work, and then little by little carves out this weird, perfect life combining the two. She draws people in unexpected places and talks to them, and that turns into bigger projects that combine art and interviewing, which she calls illustrated journalism. She draws other commuters who are riding the BART in San Francisco. She draws in prisons and courtrooms and does road trips across the country to draw people who feel profoundly different than her politically. She goes to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, and it's so stressful she takes up smoking again. She even becomes an artist in residence at a hospice and draws people in their final days on Earth. And of all the projects she's done, one of my very favorites, because I'm such a nerd, is that she hung out at the San Francisco Public Library.
Drawing is an excuse. It's a reason to go somewhere. It's like a license to be nosy. So I wanted to understand how the San Francisco Public Library was serving seniors. I was really interested in that. So I hang out and I just carry a sketchbook around. It's a 9 by 12 inch sketchbook and a pen. And I just wander and I draw everything I see. But I wasn't really getting like the story of these seniors. And the other thing the drawing does for me is that a lot of people come up to me and they say, "What are you doing?" You know, and then it starts a conversation between us. And that is also known as an interview. I write down everything they say. So a guard was asking me about how it was going. And he said, "Well, if you're having a hard time, you should go talk to the social worker who works on the top floor." And, you know, I was trained as a social worker. So I was like, oh my God, I got to talk to her. And her name was Leah. And she introduced me to a guy named Charles. And they taught me all about the social services that were going on in the library, about how the library was like a lifeline for folks who didn't have housing. And so I ended up spending a month there, all in all, with this kind of lens that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't just been drawing and talking to random strangers, you know? And then I take the words of the people that I speak with and the drawings that I do and put them together to tell a story in the words of the people.
Which is like such a public service right now. I mean, I'm just so struck in this moment where people are having a hard time seeing the role of public spaces and publicly funded services like public libraries and national parks and all these other things under threat. It's like your work is one way that people could really understand the depth of what happens in those spaces. It's not, I mean, having access to books alone should be, to my mind, a reason to protect those spaces. But the fact that it's so many other layers is just so evident in that project.
Yeah, libraries are one of our like last free social services. And I think the way of telling the story where it's their voices instead of mine is my best attempt to subvert. I'd worked internationally a lot in kind of pro-social capacities and stuff. And there's people who are always talking for other people, trying to tell other people's stories with good intentions. But it didn't it didn't center the voices of the people who actually were speaking. So by drawing people, it means that I actually have to spend time with people. I'm drawing from life for the most part. So the drawing, just like when we were drawing and doing the blind contour, it's evidence of time spent with somebody. Mm-hmm. And I think you can really feel that in the lines. They're imperfect and they're messy, but that's me actually being with somebody. And then these are the people's words. And I think it's why the story was so impactful. It ended up, contributing to there being more social workers hired and all that kind of stuff around the country. That story did. But I think it's because of the time that we spend with people and the intimacy that's created through drawing, and that comes through in it. It makes it more powerful.
Wendy, for our listeners, you've talked a little bit about the value of drawing, but can you say to the person who's listening right now and thinking like, I'm intrigued and I know I can feel this inclination that I need to do something with my hands in this moment. Like I am on my phone too much. I am in a screen too much. I am distracted. I am not in my body. What can that person get from drawing? Why is drawing fun?
Drawing is fun because you're just making stuff on a page and it's silly and it's goofy. And you know what I mean? Like somewhere along the line, we got this idea that drawing is about like making a good drawing. And actually what it's about is just like about making marks on a page. And sometimes they're colorful and sometimes they look like something and sometimes they don't. And it doesn't matter. It just feels good in your body. Like that's why it was kind of the first creative thing that we did. We, picked up a crayon and started scribbling on a page and we loved it. We loved it. Everybody does it. Almost if we have access to the tools, we all draw when we're young. And at some point, somebody came along and told us there was a right and a wrong way to do it. And then all of a sudden judgment upon our drawing, but also on all of our creative outlets. And it sent us in a different direction. So I think drawing is like this thing that we can all come back to. You know, we've been removed from it. We can come back to it. It's still this thing that we can do. If you just sit down and just draw circles for 10 minutes. That sounds so nutty, but just draw circles for 10 minutes and just breathe. And if you want to have some music on, great. You will feel different. You will feel more focused. You will feel more calm. You will have had so much go through your thoughts and your feelings that you did not expect. And you'll, be set out on a kind of different course than you were before you sat down. So it's something that we can come back to. We just kind of need the right scaffolding to do it. Everybody's a creative person. You just don't have to have it be this judged, formalized thing. It's just an act of making. That can be so many different things, right? Drawing is almost like the original sin, right? It's like the very first thing that sent us down the path of like finding true joy and creative expression. It was also the first thing that was judged in us creatively.
That's so interesting. It's incredibly accessible also. It's like just pencil, paper, or
all you need.
Back of an envelope. It doesn't have to be like a real piece of paper. Okay,
or so stick and sand.
Our first lesson is none of us are not artists. None of us are not creative. None of us can't draw. That's just like a category that doesn't exist. So listeners, if you think that about yourself, try on today that you're wrong. That like everybody can draw. Everyone can make art. Everyone can make stuff with their hands. You said start with circles on a page. Is that what you usually tell people? Because I'm thinking about like, how do you move through that first discomfort for folks who have been telling themselves that story? I mean, first of all, you can check out Wendy's work because she has this newsletter where she helps people on-ramp into a practice of drawing. So that's something you could do. But is it circles on a page? Is it doodling during work calls? Like, what's the easiest on-ramp for people who are uncomfortable?
No, I think a lot of people are already drawing. They don't realize that you said doodling. I think that like doodling is drawing. It is. It's just kind of like unintentional drawing, So great. Keep doing that. And if you don't doodle, start doing it. Doodling can be like circles. It can be, just like long lines and making a grid. But I think start with something that is not representational. Start kind of with something that just feels good to do, right? And try setting a timer. I suggest 10 minutes. If you want to start with 5, great, but set a timer. Just sit down, have your cup of coffee or whatever in the morning, set your timer and just doodle, draw circles, draw grids, draw spirals, and notice how you feel at the beginning and notice how you feel at the end. And then try it again the next day and see how that changes over time. I guarantee you it will.
Is there a number of days that you think helps people really integrate the practice?
I've been doing for the past 3 years a 30-day practice where we spend the first 10 days doing kind of inside focused drawing, like what I'm talking about the doodling, where we're really letting go of perfectionism. We're learning how to use drawing to focus, to feel our bodies, to process our feelings. The next 10 days, then we shift to how drawing helps us look at the world, pay attention, notice things, and connect our eye and our hand. And then the last 10 days is about how we can use drawing to connect with people. So there is kind of like a scaffolding there. And 30 days, I think, is also enough time that if you do 10 minutes a day for 30 days, like you have a habit, it is in your system and you will keep going. And also you'll feel the confidence to return to it when you stop, because everybody stops. Like just because you don't draw one day doesn't mean like you messed up and you're not drawing anymore. It just means you didn't draw that day. I don't draw every day.
But you get grumpy when you don't, I have to say. You should draw every day. Whenever Wendy's grumpy, I'm like, I think maybe Wendy didn't draw for a few days. I'm like, Wendy, go draw.
It's true.
You'll feel better.
It's like inside exercise. It's true.
I want to lean into the perfectionist kind of confidence piece a little more, because it's like, it's so easy for us to say, like, don't be a perfectionist. Just like, don't worry about it being good. But that is like really hard. It's like as adults, we get so used to being good at the things we do and avoiding the things we're not good at. Whereas, we make kids do all kinds of stuff they're not good at, which is part of why childhood is so excruciating sometimes. But it's like as adults, we think like we earn the right to not do shit that we're not good at. So can you talk more about like, how do you push through that feeling of like, why would I do this thing that I'm not good at?
I mean, isn't that funny that we expect that, first of all, we should be good at everything right off the bat. And second of all, that everything we do should be productive in some way, so much so that we show it to other people, you know?
Right. That's a good point. Because like, if you're not good at it, but no one's ever going to see it, what is it? No one even knows. Right.
Right. So then
it's like a tree falling in the woods. It's like, if you make a shitty drawing, but no one sees it, it doesn't matter.
But somebody does see it. It's this creature inside our head, right? That's saying like, you should be this way. And if it's not this way, then you're failing, you know? And I would argue that that came from that experience with those grownups who kind of said, you're doing that drawing wrong. Here's how you need to do it. And those voices stay in our brain and come up all the time. So it's hard to push through. But if we can kind of like externalize that and be like, I'm not trying to do a good drawing. Like, this isn't about doing a good drawing. That's the beauty of the blind contour we did before. It cannot be good. So like, once we can let go of those expectations, we can start to enjoy the process of what it feels like the joy of what it feels like in our bodies. And like, oh my gosh, I just feel like my shoulders dropped, you know? When we have those positive experiences, that's what builds a habit, because we want to do more of it. The other thing that helps is the timer that I talk about a lot. It's because you have to stop. Right? Like, it's 10 minutes is kind of a magic number, because I think it's just enough time for us to get into the flow of drawing, to get into a space of really enjoy it. And then you got to stop. So you stop on a high note. That means you're going to look forward to coming back to it the next day. As if somebody who draws for like a life, it's my vocation. Like, I will have to keep going until maybe I don't like it. Right? And I get frustrated with it. And then I'm like, ugh, I quit and I walk away. That is not going to help me return to the drawing table the next day with a positive attitude. You know, the 10 minutes is a really good habit builder.
The 10-minute timer also allows you to work through the discomfort we were talking about earlier. You can tell yourself, I am going to tolerate the feeling of being bad at this for 10 minutes. It's only 10 minutes, and then it will be done. The other thing is that we can use this opportunity to try to get some distance from the voice telling us that we're bad at this. Ask, what is that voice? I'm literally just drawing circles. How is this not a good drawing? Pretty soon, the critic in your head sounds a little ridiculous and weirdly defensive. And if after all of that, your inner critic is still loud, just ask yourself, what would Wendy say about this drawing? Would she tell you it was terrible? No, she wouldn't. So stop telling yourself that. We're going to take one more quick break, and when we come back, we're moving drawing from the kids' table to the grown-ups' table. Stay with us. This episode is brought to you by Defender. Naturally capable and expedition ready, the Defender 110 is a vehicle built for the modern explorer. The Defender is a vehicle that looks tough because it is tough. With an exterior designed for optimum durability, the Defender has the endurance to take you further and tackle the extremes with confidence. Its 3D surround cameras with clear sight ground view let you see underneath the vehicle and anticipate obstacles and rough terrain, while its clear sight rear view provides an unobstructed view behind the car, even when the back window is blocked. Plus, it's not only capable, it's comfortable. The Defender 110 has 5 seats with the option of 7 and features rich materials to ensure your journey is as luxurious as it is exciting. Purpose-built and courage-driven, the Defender is the vehicle you need for your next great adventure. The Defender family also features the 2-door Defender 90, the Defender 110, and the Defender 130, which seats up to 8. Design your Defender 110 at LandRoverUSA.com. Visit LandRoverUSA.com to learn more about the Defender 110. Explore the Defender 110 at LandRoverUSA.com.
This episode is brought to you by Defender. Naturally capable and expedition ready, the Defender 110 is a vehicle built for the modern explorer. The Defender is a vehicle that looks tough because it is tough. With an exterior designed for optimum durability, the Defender has the endurance to take you further and tackle the extremes with confidence. Its 3D surround cameras with clear sight ground view let you see underneath the vehicle and anticipate obstacles in rough terrain, while its clear sight rear view provides an unobstructed view behind the car, even when the back window is blocked. Plus, it's not only capable, it's comfortable. The Defender 110 has 5 seats with the option of 7 and features rich materials to ensure your journey is as luxurious as it is exciting. Purpose-built and courage-driven, the Defender is the vehicle you need for your next great adventure. The Defender family also features the 2-door Defender 90, the Defender 110, and the Defender 130, which seats up to 8. Design your Defender 110 at LandRoverUSA.com. Visit LandRoverUSA.com to learn more about the Defender 110. Explore the Defender 110 at LandRoverUSA.com.
We're back with artist extraordinaire Wendy MacNaughton. Wendy started teaching others to get back into drawing when one of her oldest friends, Crystal, was in a postpartum slump. She started sending Crystal and a group of friends a daily drawing assignment. They did it for 100 days. Over that period, they all loosened up and found their creativity again. That was years ago, but Wendy is still doling out creative assignments on her very popular Substack.
We have about 100,000 people now who are subscribed to DrawTogether. A lot of them, when they share their drawings, they say that they kind of imagine my voice coming in and coaching them, which I think is a valuable thing. It does not have to be mine. It can be Grover's. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter, but some externalized voice coming in and kind of coaching us through so that we can get back in touch with our own. Eventually, it's like a nice bridge. And the other thing I just want to offer is that is like, we don't really do anything alone. I think when I imagine being an artist and wearing all black, smoking cigarettes in a loft in Soho, I was just like, oh, I'm alone in the world and I'm making my art. And that is such a bunch of bullshit. Nobody makes work alone. I mean, we do have to be alone and focused for some time, but we're always in conversation with people, whether it be our friends, our colleagues, or our accountability buddy or whatever it is. Like, we're always drawing and making stuff together. So if somebody is starting off on a creative journey, identifying somebody to do it with is a key, because it also is just more fun. And your other person will be that cheerleader for you.
Right.
Right.
And that can literally mean sitting next to each other, or it could mean having an agreement where you let each other know. Maybe you don't want to send your drawings because maybe that brings up the like, am I a bad drawer thing? But you could just let each other know, I did my 10 minutes today, like accountability partners, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I would actually say, like, I do encourage people to share their drawings with each other because it is a vulnerable thing, but all it is a drawing. Who cares? You're going to do another one the next day, and let's let go of this thing that it's supposed to be quote unquote good. It's just evidence of creative effort that you made in those 10 days. And let's get comfortable with showing the process and not getting focused on the outcome and supporting each other in that process. And I think that when we do show our work to each other, we get ourselves like over that fear that we're supposed to be perfect right off the bat. And it normalizes it for the other person too. So I do encourage people to be brave and share work with each other.
That's great. And in your gut community, people share work all the time. And it's like, it's all over the map in terms of like how sophisticated or professional it seems, or what materials people use or whatever. And it's just like all so amazing. So you'll see other people both that you'll be like, oh, I actually don't think that's that great of a drawing, and this person shared that, or that's like phenomenal, and I can't believe this person isn't like, it doesn't have their paintings like in a gallery somewhere or something. It's just like the full range of humanity in your chat.
Yeah. And also, I just want to point out the language you're using. It's so judgmental. You're saying that this is not a great drawing, or this is a great drawing, right? And like, it's painful for me to hear that, because I hear that in you, my friend Courtney, and then what you must bring to your stuff. But like, some people have practiced this for years. Some people are just starting out. Some people spend 10 hours. Some people spend 5 minutes. It might be intimidating to you, or it might be like proof that there's somebody who's really accomplished. But let's just say, like, people put on all sorts of different amounts of effort,
Fascinating. I'm like, I could go down a real rabbit hole on this. You actually don't think some people are better artists than others?
I think some people have put a lot of time into drawing.
Okay. And would that be the same for writing?
Yeah. Right. And I do think that there's people who bring maybe different, like I said before, different innate tendencies, ways of looking at the world. Ultimately, like, you can learn to draw or learn to write as a skill. right? Like anybody can do that. What makes a drawing or an essay or a book or whatever, like exceptional, or any piece of art, I think, is the artist's unique experience in the world and what they're bringing to it through their eyes and through their heart. So that's what ends up being something that, I don't know, it's like an Anselm Kiefer or something like that, right?
So maybe like talent, what we call talent is actually like quality of noticing plus like access to skills and time to develop those skills, as opposed to like some people are just better than others. Yeah.
And I do think there's the access, but there's also the commitment. And this is why this is hard. I will say, I think everybody is creative and everybody can be an artist, but everybody isn't a practicing artist, because art is something you do.
Yeah.
Right. And so an artist is somebody who is making art. When we get to start judging who is an artist based on whether we consider their work to be good or bad, right? Whether we consider our own work to be good or bad, like that makes no sense to me. Art is something you do. An artist is somebody who makes art. So as long as you're actively making something and practicing the art of creativity, or you're practicing creative arts, then you're an artist. That's great. The rest of it is just like a bunch of social and economic bullshit,
Wow, I love that. It also totally makes me think of all the people I knew in my 20s in New York who said they were working on novels, but they were never actually working on novels. Like, I'd be like, so when do you write? And they're just like, well, never. I never write, but I'm working on a novel. And I'd just be like, I don't understand. I feel like it always felt like maybe some sort of class culture difference, where I was like, my only understanding of being a writer is that you write. It's so funny.
I'm kind of Team Courtney on this one.
Yeah.
Although I would say, like, I know we're over and all this, but I gotta say, there's like folks like Alan Capro and who is an incredible artist who started this kind of thing called happenings, where you would like gather and it would be an experience, and that is the art. And his premise was that life is art if you treat your life like art, right? I do think that an artist is somebody who is making and doing something, and you can also apply that to your life. You can live in a creative way where you live at a place of like curiosity and connection. And so every moment you're like, and what else could happen here? And then you push your life forward in that creative way. Like, that is being an artist, because you are living in that way. You're making your life as a piece of art. So it's not limited to a piece of paper, but it is about an approach.
Thank you, Wendy MacNaughton. I love you so much. And you really are such a gift to the world. And I know this is going to be a big gift to our listeners. I can't wait to hear what they do with it and see their drawings, and head over to Wendy's Substack and become a part of this incredible movement she's starting. It's like the biggest art school in the world now, 100,000 people, right?
Isn't that crazy? Can I give people an assignment?
Yes, please.
I would like to just give people 3 10-minute drawings to do.
Great.
Okay? Great. So set a timer for 10 minutes, have a pen and a piece of paper. And the first is to take a deep breath, let it out, and then draw circles. They can be small. They should be touching, whatever you want, for 10 minutes. Timer goes off. That's it. Write down how you feel afterwards. Number 2 is do a blind contour of a plant. That's it, for 10 minutes. You can do it for 5 minutes. It's a long time, 5 minutes. And the last one is to draw a blind contour self-portrait of yourself. That's it.
Okay. Those are your marching orders, people. I love you, Wendy MacNaughton.
Love you, Courtney Martin.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
That's all for this episode, but join us on today's Slate Plus Quick Fix. Wendy is going to walk us through a drawing meditation for when life is stressful. If you aren't already a Slate Plus member, you can subscribe now on Apple Podcasts by clicking Try Free at the top of the How To show page, or visit slate.com/how-to-plus to get access wherever you listen. The episode is available for you to listen to right now. We'll see you there. If you want to see the drawing I made, we've posted a link in our show notes. Don't judge. Also, we want to see your drawings. Please send them to howto@slate.com. That's also where you can send us any questions or ideas for episodes. Again, that email is howto@slate.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 646-495-4001. If you liked what you heard today, please send this episode to your friend. Maybe the friend you'd like to do a blind contour drawing with. And then send us your drawings. We can't wait to see them. How To is produced by Rosemary Belson with Kevin Bendis. Joel Meyer is our supervising producer. Merritt Jacob is senior technical director and composed our theme music. Charles Duhigg created the show. Carvel Wallace is my co-host, and I'm Courtney Martin. Thanks for listening.
Today's episode is sponsored by NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast.
Money can be confusing. Should you invest in ETFs, get a travel rewards credit card, buy a house, or just build a really fancy pillow fort?
That could work. No shame in pillow fort game. Or you could just tune in for clear, research-backed financial insights.
I'm Sean Piles, a certified financial planner professional.
And I'm Elizabeth Ayola. We're the hosts of NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast, where you bring the money questions and we bring trustworthy information backed by NerdWallet's expert analysis, without the jargon or the sales pitch.
Our nerds do the research so you don't have to. We'll help you understand your options so you can make the best decision for your situation, from optimizing your investments and maximizing credit card rewards to making big money moves with confidence.
Plus, we keep it real. No lectures, no judgment. Just tips and tools you can use to build wealth and take control of your finances. Think of us as your financial GPS, helping you navigate your money decisions and avoid expensive wrong turns.
Whether you're planning for retirement, weighing a big purchase, or just want to make your money work harder for you, we've got insights that you can use in real life.
So, if you want practical, straightforward, and actually useful financial knowledge, plus a little bit of fun along the way, follow NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast on your favorite podcast app.
Trust us, future you will thank you.
Today's episode is sponsored by NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast.
Money can be confusing. Should you invest in ETFs, get a travel rewards credit card, buy a house, or just build a really fancy pillow fort?
That could work. No shame in pillow fort game. Or you could just tune in for clear, research-backed financial insights.
I'm Sean Piles, a certified financial planner professional.
And I'm Elizabeth Ayola. We're the hosts of NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast, where you bring the money questions and we bring trustworthy information backed by NerdWallet's expert analysis, without the jargon or the sales pitch.
Our nerds do the research so you don't have to. We'll help you understand your options so you can make the best decision for your situation, from optimizing your investments and maximizing credit card rewards to making big money moves with confidence.
Plus, we keep it real. No lectures, no judgment. Just tips and tools you can use to build wealth and take control of your finances. Think of us as your financial GPS, helping you navigate your money decisions and avoid expensive wrong turns.
Whether you're planning for retirement, weighing a big purchase, or just want to make your money work harder for you, we've got insights that you can use in real life.
So, if you want practical, straightforward, and actually useful financial knowledge, plus a little bit of fun along the way, follow NerdWallet's Smart Money Podcast on your favorite podcast app.
Trust us, future you will thank you.